What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So now I gotta shut somebody else up because, um, of course, you always got somebody that wanna. Oh, Deontay never said that. No, such and such never said that. Okay, not once but twice he said this. Now I feel like this one is even more significant. Why? This video, this is a Sky Sports interview. Okay, this was from February 19th, 2020. Okay. Now, I want you to listen. Okay, this is the purpose. For one, I'm going to completely destroy and crush the person that said Wilder never said Dillian White style was easy for him. He never said that. He just said White makes excuses and he don't want to fight the best fighters. Okay. So he said, remind you, White never said that Wilder never said White style. He never said it, that it was easy. See, but I think too when people realize what happens, that oh shit, he did say that. Like I said, they can't just say, yo, you was right, my bad. I just didn't see that or I didn't know. Right. But you feel stupid because you talk like you guys know so much. And I keep telling you guys, if I tell you something's official, it's because that's the word I got. If I say word is or I'm not sure, but what I'm hearing, I will always tell you that. I cannot tell you first off, and I can only tell you what the person involved said or what's said about that person. It's not like I'm there. Okay? So it's not about what I want to believe or what I choose to believe. It's what can we prove? First off. So before I do anything, I'm listening to what's going on. A lot of times people hear content, they'll put it out the second they hear it. Sometimes I wait because it's like something's going to follow this. Let me just, so that way I get it all out. Okay. Now, this is Deontay Wilder. What I want you guys to focus on, listen to how easy it is for Deontay Wilder to speak for everybody else. How easy it is for him to analyze what everybody else is doing, what their thinking process is. But when it comes to him and the blame and the finger being pointed at him, he has an excuse for everybody, for every situation. He cannot take people telling him he should have did something differently from the way he did it, or his story doesn't sound right, or well, if that's the case, why is this, why is that? He's sitting here insulting the British people, saying how you Brits need to be ashamed of yourselves and all this and this. Same shit Dante's Boxing Nation do for him, 7-8 Sports, Fanon, Ego, all these guys. The same things that they do. Now, I can't really say the same things in this sense. I don't hear anybody making excuses up for Dillian White. And I'm not with the excuses for nobody. And you guys have heard me make videos where I've gotten at Dillian White about some of the things that he said and done. Same way. So it's not like if Dillian White's doing the same thing he's doing, I'm not going to call him out of any fighter. No. See, here's the problem with Deontay. Not only is the guy delusional, he lies, man. And a lot of times I'm looking at him, I'm wondering, is he like really crazy? Is he one of those people that hear voices like they appear to be normal, but something's really going on inside? Like, does he really believe what he just said? I want you guys to pay attention to all of this. Now, mind you, this is before the Fury fight. This is before he got his ass whooped. Now, I'm going to point out things that he say. I might stop it, I might not. It depends because Wi-Fi is kind of iffy today, and I don't want the video freezing up on me. But I want you guys to pay attention to everything that he says and how cocky and confident he is about everything. And I want you to compare this version of him to this version now. How all he's doing is holding on to the past. Deliberate lies he's going to tell. Contradictions he's going to say. I want you guys to listen to this.
BC belt holder Deontay Wilder, unbeaten Deontay Wilder. Deontay, how are you feeling? How's the hardest hitting man in the planet?
Oh man, I'm feeling great. You forgot the baddest man in the world.
That's for you to say.
But I'm feeling amazing, and I can't wait to go. The hardest part is always the week before the fight. It's almost like torture for me because the preparation for the fight. You've been thinking about one individual for the whole time throughout your camp. You've been hitting the heavy bags, you've been hitting the speed bags, the mitts, and even some sparring. And you've been thinking about one individual, and when you think about that one person, you build up this type of steam that you want to release, and come Saturday night, I'm gonna be able to release my steam. But other than that, I'm just ready to go.
Pause.
Boxing about legacy fights. Tyson Fury calls himself obviously the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. He's unbeaten as well. Is this potentially your legacy fight?
Every fight is my legacy fight. Every fight that I've fought from the beginning until now has been part of my legacy. And I'm very grateful for those guys, those brave souls, to enter in the ring and to provide the energy with mine. It's been great outcome for me.
Any fighter,
and building my
every
legacy,
fighter is a part of your legacy.
Even
Any
for my
fighter.
children to sit back and say, and one day we'll be able to say, my dad, and it goes into the lines of that. But I appreciate all the guys. I can't single out one guy from another. All of them has been great.
You've become something of a knockout artist. You won so many fights in spectacular fashion. Does a win on Saturday night really put you at the top of your career, or is there still that burning desire to one day be undisputed champion before you can say that?
This fight definitely put me it puts me, how would I say it? It puts me at the top of my career, but also that desire to be one champion, one face, one name. Like I said, I only have 5.5 more years that I want to participate in boxing, in this brutal sport. And hopefully during that time that we'll get some of these brave champions give me an opportunity to fight me. The reason why I wasn't able to obtain, other belts unifying, because I haven't had the opportunity. No one has given me the opportunity. I've given everyone else the opportunity, whether they took it or not, but it hasn't been the same for me. And with that being said,
okay, let's get something straight. Joseph Parker was holding the title. Anthony Joshua was holding the title. Charles Martin was holding the title. Okay, and Deontay Wilder had the WBC. He never, ever, this has been established, sent the contract or negotiated to fight Charles Martin when he was the champ. He never, ever, ever negotiated to fight against Joseph Parker when he was the champ. He never, ever, ever, okay, took the opportunity that AJ gave him, and the only thing that they supposedly tried to give AJ was some bullshit ransom type. You have to the end of the night to accept the contract, $50 million, take it or leave it. That's the only thing. There was never, and all these fighters, if you listen to them, there's always been conversations, because we always said and wanted to know, and just like the reporters, like a fight with like Anthony against Anthony Joshua or against Wilder, whoever. Look here. So who did he send contracts to? Which fighters did he send contracts to that didn't take him up on his offer? We already know what happened with him and AJ. The truth. Okay, we already know the truth about that situation. So AJ took the belt from Joseph Parker. Okay. At this point in time right here, who's the champion? Who's the unified? Anthony Joshua. Okay. He took Charles Martin's belt. All right. So he has the IBF, WBA, WBO, and IBO, but they don't count, whatever. And IBO. But anyway, he has the WBC. What does Fury have? Lineal. So what opportunities are you talking about? What opportunities are you talking about? Who's not giving you the opportunities? Who has he and his team sent term sheets and contracts to that was holding the title? See how he can say something and people just run with it like it's true because he said it? But think about it. AJ was unified. When AJ lost to Andy Ruiz, he's the first one jumping up to congratulate him. His story here right now, what he's saying, this is before the second Fury fight. I think like the week of or something like that or whatever. But at the end of the day, listen. He said the only reason why he hasn't unified is because he hasn't been given the opportunity. And if you're the A side, like you said, who the hell is going to turn down unifying the championship fight? Especially if the money's so big against the unified champion, right? The undisputed champion, right? No, he's only had the WBC. Now, we know him and Parker never had negotiations, and that's who Anthony Joshua took the belt from. We know him and Charles Martin was gifted the belt. Okay, he was gifted that title. We know that. So who else was out there that he was negotiating with? You see the guy, he says he just lies, man. And see, this reporter, I wish, well, who did you send negotiations to? He would have found a way to not answer the question, as usual. So who was he sending these term sheets and contracts to? And why we never heard nothing about these other negotiations? Let's go.
When you're not getting opportunities, from the other champions, it makes it a little bit difficult and it makes it a little bit longer. So, if they're listening, they continue to continue to run for 5.5 more years, and it is what it is.
Who are they?
But I'm continuing to provide my service to my greatness, through the remainder of the time where I have left, and people can only expect nothing but greatness from me.
We've spoken a lot this week about the trilogy fight, the agreement that's in place should this fight go either way. Would you prefer a trilogy fight with Tyson Fury back here in Vegas or a unification fight?
One thing I'm focusing on is this fight right here. I'm not concerned about a trilogy or whatever because, this right here, you just never know what's going to happen. We can't jump the gun. We trainers and people always say don't look past a fighter and different things like that. I always say when it comes to fighting, I never look past a fighter, but I look through a fighter. But when it...
Hold up. He's supposed to be laser focused now, right? More focused now than he was then. Back then, when he was asked that question, what did he just say? What did he just say in this particular interview? He said, I don't look past no fighter. I'm right now, I'm just focused on this fight. I'm not worried about a trilogy or none of that, right? He's supposed to be so much more focused now. Like Malik Scott said, eat, sleep, and shit boxing. This dude is talking about Anthony Joshua. He's talking about Dillian Whyte. He's talking about all this other shit. He's talking about everything that has nothing to do with Fight 3. He's talking about Fights 1 and 2. He's talking about being cheated. He's sitting there playing the pity party. So if he's so focused on Tyson Fury for this third fight, he wants to kill him like you're saying to everybody, why is he talking about everything else? And why in 2020, February 19th, before he fought Tyson Fury, at least he had the common sense then to say he's only focusing on right now. I'm not even worried about a trilogy fight. Right? He said that he told Tyson Fury after the first fight, when the fight was a draw, that I told you I'd give you a rematch. Remember that, right? Remember that. I told you I'd give you a rematch. So be a man of your word and do the same thing. What did he say about a trilogy fight? And what did the guy say if it goes the other way? Meaning if Tyson Fury was to win. Okay? Tyson Fury did win. He did win. But what was he saying? So you know damn well there was no negotiation about no third fucking fight. That was paperwork. If that did happen, it came after. Because right here on this video, he said, I'm not worried about no if a trilogy fight or how what. That wasn't even, they verbally, I remember, see, that's why it's good to go back into old shit too. Because I remember a video where they both talked about, we might even do it 3 times. And yeah, they had planned this shit. But nothing was etched in stone. And in all honesty, because they were saying Tyson Fury was pillow-fisted, they didn't think there would be a third fight or a reason for a third fight. And if so, no problem. I'll just beat him again. He can't punch. You understand what I'm saying? You heard what he just said. So this is not such and such said, that Wilder said, and such. No, this is coming from Wilder's mouth. All this shit he's talking right now. And now all of a sudden, again, we know the fight's not happening. Okay, let's go.
With already talking about negotiating for a third fight when the second fight haven't happened. I don't cross those boundaries.
Now, what did he just say? I'm not talking about a third fight when the second fight hasn't actually happened. We know that the plan, they talked about possibly doing it 3 times. They talked about it. But what did he just say? Now, what was his big beef? We don't negotiate like that. But this is the same man who sent the contract to a guy and said, you have until the end of the night to sign the contract or there's no fight. So it was fair for him to do that shit, right? Just because AJ said, I'll fight Wilder tomorrow for $50 million if that's the case. Because they talk about the money and all. So that's what that was. Let's counter to try to call him out to make him look bad. That's what that was. But at the same time, He's talking about negotiations. That's not how you do business, right? That's not, you don't negotiate like that, right? Okay. So why was it okay for him to be wise enough to know, nah, I ain't worried about no third fight right now. We ain't had the second one yet. Didn't that just come out of his fucking mouth? But it's okay for him to put somebody on the spot for a contract signing with no details and nothing. Same way I said, do you think if Eddie Hearn and Joshua would have did that same shit to Wilder, you don't fucking, every one of y'all who's saying that shit on the opposite way, sending that at the opposite direction, would be sitting there going, yo, what the fuck kind of pussy ass shit is Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua? How they gonna tell this man he only got to the end of the night? The fuck kind of they scared. They scared. No, he does it. Oh, it's okay because it's Wilder. So he just fucking said, how we gonna negotiate the third fight? The second one even happened yet. So this shit had to happen after. So if they went through, actually, they had a contract. No, the contract. So in other words, a contract was typed up, but nothing was signed. So at some point after the second fight, they decided, yeah, we could do it a third time. It never happened. Yet, remember, the contract expired. Something don't sound right, and I said this last year. How the fuck can you take somebody to court for a contract that expired? If it expired, no. If you got to go renew your fucking license, right? And your license expire, and you get pulled over, you think you can sue the motor vehicles? Nah, man. Nah, because, man, like, I told him, no, I was on my way over there. I got into an accident on the way over there, and I didn't make it. But it's not my fault. I got into an accident. So by the time I got out of the motor vehicle was closed. That sucks. It's unfortunate. But you can't do nothing about that. So imagine somehow you go to court and they're going, well, yeah, you know what? He can't sue y'all because, he did let y'all know he was coming in an accident. No, that would be beautiful if you could overturn something like that. No, they're going to tell you, well, sir, first off, you shouldn't have waited till the last day. They send these things out a month in advance. So you should have actually took, whatever, you got to figure that out. You can't sue them. Simple. They said the contract expired on Finkel's desk. Remember that? So how could that be overturned? Well, you heard what Wilder just said. All right, and like I said, this video was February 19th, 2020. How in the hell can you sit here and say, didn't they fight on the 25th or something like that? February 20 something they fought. But anyway, how could you sit here and say, oh, he that, not the fact of him pulling out with the COVID excuse or whatever, or reason or whatever the fuck, but at the same time, the point of saying that he owed him this fight. He said after the first fight, I promised you. I told you that I would give you a rematch. After the first fight was called a draw. So now when he's saying, oh, you be a man of your word. No, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You said out of your own mouth, and you tweeted him that after, do your homework. After the first fight, I told you I'd give you a rematch. So this is the second fight. That right before the second fight. So as far as the third fight goes, there was no actual agreement on paper. So even if they talked about it, but my thing is, Deontay went into complete silence. He wasn't talking to nobody. So when did they actually say that? No, this goes back to when these motherfuckers was talking initially about fighting 3 times. All right, before even the first and the second fight. Fury said out of his own mouth, he hasn't spoken to Wilder since the fight. So there was no contact between them. So when the fuck did they get together to do negotiations and nobody heard from Wilder? And Fury kept calling Wilder out. Now, if that was the case and this motherfucker was already supposed to be in negotiations, you don't think Wilder or somebody would have said, Fury, stop capping. Motherfucker, you already know we talked about the third fight and this and that, and you ain't signed a fucking contract and the shit is dead. People, wake the fuck up. Wake up. This is coming from Wilder's mouth. And see, I got to do this to break shit down because you got dumb motherfuckers who love to hear boxing fucking news, boxing lies, should I say, from other channels, and think that that shit is true because they're saying it. Because they forget what was actually said. Let's go.
I stay in my own lane, and I do what I got to do the second time around, which is just the second fight, and we'll see what happens. for a trilogy fight, we'll see where that lies, and between the lines of that and stuff like that.
So they didn't even negotiate that shit
whether
yet.
joking or not, has said that Vladimir Klitschko hits harder than you do. How hard does he hit?
Well, for him to say that, I didn't even see Klitschko even really threw any kind of punches to even hit him. So we already know he's lying right there, because if Klitschko hit harder than then he would have had a concussion that night. He definitely would have lost in this country. For a man to hit him not one time but twice to take him down, he's lying. But Fury, like I've said before, he got pillows as fists. That's why I was able to still apply more force and pressure on him than I. We all know that Fury can't punch. They say women lie, men lie, but numbers don't lie. And you can go back and see, what numbers lies by him, and we can see that my 2-year-old can hit harder than him.
He says this time he's coming with a different game plan. He's coming to knock you out. He's been working on his power. Do you believe him for 1 second?
I don't believe none of that he's saying. Fighters have to have certain strategies and different tactics to approach a fight, and sometimes you want to manipulate the people. And I just think he's manipulating people into believing into allowing them to believe in him in something that he don't even really believe.
Now hold up. I agree with that comment about people have to have certain abilities, right? What have I been saying about Wilder? Wilder has never showed the ability to do the things that people are saying he has to do to beat Fury. Now we see him hitting mitts with Malik Scott and jumping rope, and everybody's like, oh shit, yo, you see it, yo, you're looking better, right? Okay. It's something you have to have. It's not just like learning something. It's like this, right? You can practice driving an 18-wheeler, right? In a big open space, right? And you can practice and practice and practice. And I guarantee you, you've been driving a car all your life. I guarantee you, the first time you go on the fucking highway, like the first time you go on this, and it's like a lot of traffic, and it's like, oh shit, your heart's pumping. Like, fuck, all right, I got this. I know how to drive, but shit, it's different. Because now you're not in that comfort zone, that big lot. Now you got to know, okay, I got to pay attention to signs for low bridge clearances. I got to pay attention to everything. I got to make sure I'm checking the mirrors right. All this traffic is different. It's different. Doing that shit in a big open lot, I know, because I drive truck. I've seen it. I got to I know how to drive for them shits, and I know the feeling that I had. I'm driving fast sports cars all my life, and then all of a sudden now, Jeeps and shit, now I'm in this big-ass mobile home looking damn truck, and it was a little different, like shit. Okay, I wasn't shook like I'm scared to drive. It was just like, damn, this shit is different. And I had a little, all right. And Aries don't scare. I don't be scared of shit. That shit just had me a little kind of like, damn, I'm more paying attention and trying to, it's different. Now you're driving a stick. You used to driving an automatic all your life. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. It's no different. You're trying to not get punched in your face, your ribs and all that shit. You're trying to land your shots and follow a strategy. It's different when your style. You're just not used to doing certain things. Now, why is it that he can say that about Fury? And the funny thing is, Fury went out and did exactly what he said. But we're supposed to believe it's automatic that he's just going to go out and do it. It's like, we'll see. But here's a guy who never felt like he had to respect boxing and learn the basic principles. That I can just keep knocking everybody out. You heard what he said. I can't put any one guy over the other. Like every win is part of my legacy. We know that's not true. Because you got different levels of opponents. And then he's going to contradict himself and say something completely backwards to contradict that comment. Okay, in reference to Dillian Whyte. But let's go. All right, let's go.
I always tell people, if you believe it, if you speak things in existence and you believe it, you shall receive it. But the magic of it is the belief. The belief is the magic of speaking things in existence.
Well, obviously, Fury must have believed what he said because he did it. And the fact is, for us to just sit here and be like, yo, you know what, man? He said he gonna do this and that. That's not even what it's about. What it's truly about, really, what it's really, really about, you got to understand the same way you come in the ring to fight to win, so does your opponent. You might win, you might lose, but you come in the fight, right? So all of this, now I'm calm, I'm good, but when I lose, I'm a whole different person. I gotta blame everybody, I gotta complain about everybody, and everything come out of my mouth, I gotta sound like I'm super angry about and overly aggressive because I just can't accept that I lost. I mean, let's go.
If you don't believe it's not gonna happen, then it's not gonna happen. Belief is a small word, but it's magical once you unlock it. And I just don't think he's gonna unlock the belief part in that. And if he do, it's gonna fall into my strategy. It's gonna fall into more of me having the advantage than him, because I am the knockout artist, and I do what I do very, very well.
We'll ask you how this fight's going to pan out in just a second, but have you got a word for Dillian Whyte? We've spoken to him on Sky Sports this week. He's obviously been mandatory challenger for your WC belt for a long time. He's still waiting for that shot. Is he going to get his shot at some point?
I mean, Dillon Whyte is only waiting because he wants to wait. Dillon Whyte is one of those characters that he wants to call out the best fighters, but he don't want to fight the best fighters. And by calling out the best fighters and he don't get what he wants, it's only a strategy to, like, I'm going to fight a lower opposition, but I'm going to call a big fighter out, and knowing that I don't want to fight him, I'm going to get him, so people have sympathy for him and be able to feel sorry for him. So when he do fight a lower opposition, then they big him on, they give him, the sympathy and the things that they want. That's exactly it. Just pay attention. With me, I've said it many, many times. I give all fighters the opportunity and chance to come and fight me. And with Dillon, he had multiples of time.
When?
WBC, even he talked about the WBC, but they ordered him to fight what he called an old man in Luis Ortiz. But who?
Wait. He's about to contradict himself again. He just said he gives everybody the opportunity. Who? Look at his resume. You telling me that you secretly reached out to fight Joseph Parker and he said no? Andy Ruiz said no? Dillian Whyte said no? He said the WBC ordered him to fight Luis Ortiz, and he's saying, Luis Ortiz is an old man, but then he's like, look how old Povetkin is. People, wait a minute. Luis Ortiz and Povetkin is in like the same age group. I don't know if one of them is a year or two older, whatever it is, he cannot make any room to complain about him saying Ortiz, he didn't want to fight. Look, Ortiz is on taking heart medicine. Povetkin wasn't taking no goddamn heart medicine. You understand? But he said he gives all people opportunities. Who? What does the WBC ordering him to fight against Luis Ortiz got to do with you saying, nah, you know what? White is better than Molina. He's better than Arthur Spilker. He's better than Gerald Washington. I'd rather fight that guy. He's better than them. You know that. So forget what you tell about the WBC ordered him. What? No. This is what I'm talking about. He just sat here and described him and his minions. He said he wants that Dillon White calls out the bigger names and then go fight a lower opposition. Anybody who's been following the Dillon White situation, you already know what it is. And I open my mouth to say, Dillon White screwed himself when AJ and Eddie, remember AJ got in the ring. And I want to fight this linky piece of shit right here. Remember that shit, right? He was supposed to wind up fighting AJ. Remember what he did? AJ came in the ring to congratulate him on his win and say, hey, we got to get together and do it again. That's what he came in the ring for. This dude basically said Eddie and AJ was playing games. I don't remember the number they offered him, but I think it was like maybe 7 or 8 million or something like that. Dillon White is not making that in a fight. He's not making $7 or $8 million in a fight. So he thought that was bullshit. So he turns that shit down. And he was supposed to fight him after he beat Derek Chisora. And he didn't. And I feel like they punished Dillon White because of that. And I've said that a long time ago. But at the same time, this guy is saying he calls out big names like he does calling out Anthony Joshua's name and then go fight a lower opposition. And then his minions feel like, oh man, see, AJ don't want to fight him. The camouflage is because he was holding the WBC title. They don't see him as the B side. They see him as like, oh, he's the big dog anyway. So they don't see it being is the same with the Dillon White situation, where people feeling sorry for him or looking at him like, oh, that's fucked up what they keep doing to Dillon. He never made any offers to fight him. He told him, I will freeze you out for 2 years. But you see how this man lies. He gave it. What opportunity did you give him? He could have been fought me. Oh, wait. He could have been fought you by beating Ortiz first. Then fight you if he beat Ortiz. How long has Dillian Whyte been mandatory #1? And then Mauricio Suleiman comes out and says, being #1 doesn't automatically make you mandatory. He just recently said it again. So what opportunity did he give Dillian Whyte? And we know Dillian Whyte showed the two guys on the zone, Akim Barak, showed him the damn text message saying, I will freeze you out for the next 2 years. So he's standing here with a straight face, lying his ass off. But again, your king can do no wrong. Let's continue.
Who's he fighting next?
It's Povetkin for him next.
And how old is Povetkin?
He's definitely in his 30s.
He's 40. He's 40.
I gotta pause again. This motherfucker was supposed to fight Povetkin. Remember, Povetkin had something in his system, whatever. So what the fuck is he talking about? He was going to fight Povetkin.
Something. He's about 40, going on 40 for sure. You know. So my thing is, but good try to cover it up though. But my thing is, if you're gonna fight an old man and how old is Povetkin?
And Povetkin is not motherfucking British, so I don't even know what the fuck this dude is talking about when because he made a comment about good trying to cover it up and talking about pause. And pretty much talking about how the Brits, cover up for their people. So I guess somewhere in that train of thought, he's just thinking Povetkin is British when he's not. But anyway, let's continue.
Finkel says he's in his forces.
There you go. So I don't want none of the Brits try to cover it up. You know, y'all do a good job of covering y'all own people up and stuff like that. But it's
he's not even British.
For that foolishness. You know, especially when you talk about the sport and you talk about a guy being waiting or whatever. You got to look at his own flaws. He say Ortiz is an old man, but he's finna fight a 40, 41-year-old guy.
And also, because Dillian Whyte is British, and he could be saying like, oh, you trying to cover up the fact that he's fighting a 40-year-old guy. So he could have been taking it that route as well. But anyway, check this out. He was going to fight Povetkin. Remember, he lost a case to Povetkin. Laws had to pay them some bread. All right? Remember what happened. We know the story. But he was going to fight him. How in the fuck can you sit here and talk about him not wanting to, him about to fight a 40-year-old man, but he didn't want to fight Luis Ortiz because he's scared? You're saying this to make people feel like he was ducking King Kong Ortiz. Who the fuck has Luis Ortiz beat? I get so tired of people talking about Luis Ortiz like this motherfucker's just the world beater. Like he accomplished shit. He ain't do shit as a heavyweight, but get his ass knocked out twice by you. And beat your boy Malik Skid up worse than you did. Dropped him, 4 or 5 times or some shit? But he really knocked him out when he fought him. You didn't. Just be real. Just be real. So again, yeah, he might have been saying that he's trying to cover up for Dillon, but maybe whatever, because he say shit. Regardless, let's continue.
Walk. How old is Walk? Then Walk, he find guys, lower opposition guys, older in their 40s, that putting him on his ass. Just imagine he fighting a champion, a young champion. You know what I mean? I'll destroy him, but he gotten all opportunities in fighting Ortiz to fight me. He declined it. He didn't want to fight, but he's going to fight another in the same range.
Okay, and he was told if he beats Povetkin that he'd get that shot too. Then you got knocked the fuck out as well. But at the same time, right? Ortiz is just as old as Povetkin. So what is his point?
Ortiz in the same range. But, he's a good fighter and all this. So is Ortiz. Ortiz is even better of a fighter. Dominique Brazil.
I agree with that. Ortiz is better than that guy he's talking about.
So he said, hey, man, I got the mandatory position. I'll fight you for it. He didn't want to do that. But
why would he want to fight Dominic Brazil, who's done nothing? Dominic didn't earn nothing.
If he continued to make excuses, he got to come to realization with himself and come to truth with himself and just sit down. Even the people around him like, man, you know what? I got to make the initiative. I got to do these things. I got to take these fights to get to where he got to go. I don't have no problem. Dillon White is an easy style for me. It's an easy fight. Trust me. I feel no man. I'm the man that knock out everyone.
He never said that, though.
Why would I be scared of anyone when I'm the man that knocks?
He never said that.
Out? His style is easy. He got a wild style. If people think I'm wild, come on, you know. So with that being said, Dillon White, get your together, man.
I love making y'all look stupid.
Go fight the right fights and stop running away.
This guy said, he got to get it together. Take initiative, man. I got to take these fights. What the fuck big fights has Wilder took, man? He's hiding behind fighting fucking heart medicine Ortiz. He's, hiding behind, okay, you got, I don't even, look, Ortiz was the best fighter that he had fought up until he fought Fury. And that's about as far as I can go with that. Ortiz was, I don't see nothing special about Ortiz. I just don't. Regardless, instead of fighting him twice, instead of fighting Fury 3 damn times, you could have been spreading that shit around. You could have fought him. You could have fought AJ, right? He's talking about what somebody else got to do. What is he doing to make these fights happen? On top of that, right? What did he just sit here and say? That this person claimed he never said. He said, Dillian Whyte's style is easy for me. That's an easy style. Why am I saying that? Because Dillian Whyte wants to fight you right now. And you're talking about who he has to fight first to beat you. If he beats those guys, then he gets to you. Well, y'all both got something in common. Y'all both got beat the fuck up. After he got his ass whooped, he went on and fought other guys. Turned down the offer that AJ and her made him to fight other people. That's White's fault. You got beat the fuck up. You were supposed to get your revenge back, so-called revenge back, and now Fury, he pushes out, and he's out the fight. But now, Dillian Whyte has been calling you out, and he's calling you out now. So now you have every opportunity to make that fight. You said his style is easy, okay? And I just made a video about that, and I said it before, and you got your little minions, they run around, oh, no, man, he never said that, he just said that. Yeah, no, I know what he said. I'm so glad, see, people love to take videos down when they say something and it becomes a thing and people start quoting them on it. I'm glad this one is still up. But you guys show me you don't know jack shit because you love to say, he didn't say that. You guys are so biased and so fucking, y'all love to call people one-sided. But it's like you guys are sitting up here preaching and manifesting bullshit, lies, opinions. I'm not giving you my opinion that he said Dillian Whyte's style was easy. I'm giving you a fact that he said it. And that's why I played the whole video and not just that piece. Let's go.
You had the opportunity and you know it. You blew it. You didn't want to fight the Ortiz because you said he was old, but you finna fight another old fighter. And you done fought another old fighter before Povetkin. And it just
no, he said, what the fuck do I need to fight Ortiz for to get to him?
So sympathy for you, some type of sorrow. And the people that's showing the sympathy for you, you brats, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Get this man off his ass. Tell him, get out there and tell him to shut up.
You Brits, you need to be ashamed of yourself. Again, who's the one bringing nationality and race in this shit? You just accused, look what you just said. You Brits, you need to be ashamed of yourself. I told you, this dude got black skin just like Dillian Whyte. He does not see Dillian Whyte as a black man. He, because of an accent or because of what part of the world you were born in, it obviously makes a difference to him for whatever reason, for his own selfish greed and needs. But listen, he just said, you Brits need to be ashamed of yourselves, right? He's sitting up here, again, bringing race into this shit. Again, him bringing race into this shit. What did he just say about dude? Oh, nice cover up though. You know, talking about how y'all, one thing y'all Brits take up. See, this is what I'm talking about. Nobody's talking about fucking race, just him. And when he does, his minion does. When his fucking minion channels do it, it's like, it's just the whole thing. It just goes to a place where it shouldn't even be. But he wanted to fight you now. He always wanted to fight you, but he want to fight you now. You don't have an opponent. His style is easy. Like I said in the last video. Fight him.
Say, we've got to finish because Shelley's saying we've got to finish, but I want to finish on you just very quickly. We're in America. You're the American heavyweight champion. This is a huge bill in Las Vegas. Can you tell us, how does this fight unfold on Saturday night?
This fight unfold with a beautiful entrance. You know, the walkout is going to be amazing to get the people what I'm feeling. You know, in the environment, I'm building up the energy.
If only he knew,
in the room. You know, so when I go up those stairs, I'm gonna be able to capture down the energy and be able to spread throughout the arena. And then when the bell rings, you know what I say? Don't blink. Just don't blink, because this fight is gonna go faster than what people expect it to go. And a lot of people are gonna be surprised.
It was.
A lot of people not. And a lot of people are gonna be like, hell yeah, we had a great time. And that's all I want. I just want people to have a great time. And the ones that is traveling for different countries, please be safe. You know, it's a lot of things going on with the travels and being up in the air and stuff like that. Just be careful, be safe. Be aware of your surroundings. You know, keep your loved ones close and tight with you, and get into this fight. And I hope you do the same thing leaving. Get home safely, leaving as well. Enjoy a great fight and go home safely. That's all I want.
But you want to kill Fury and say he tried to take your life in the ring by cheating, but you don't want to sue the motherfucker. You just want the third fight, right? And now you want to kill him, and you wishing people well and safety and all that. You don't want to just win a fight, right? Hypocrisy, man. Hypocrisy, man. Pause. Look, y'all, I just wanted to get this out. I wanted y'all to hear it. I wanted to break this video down because, like I said, people say things today. Half of the people forget about it tomorrow and start making false claims, and they get their stories, you know, all backwards. You guys heard this video and what he said. Yes, he said it. This is the first time he said it that I heard. He said it again recently, okay? But he said, Dillian Whyte style is easy for me. He'll knock Dillian Whyte out, right? Dillian Whyte's no problem. So again, then you should have no problem saying, you know what? Fury's out. Dillian, get your ass in here so I can knock you out with your easy style. Now, if he does all this hard training, 4 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, all this skipping rope shit that he should have been doing all along, if he ends up fighting no one, or he ends up fighting some meatball, it's going to say a lot about him and not in a good way. And things, I'm not surprised about none of this, to be honest with you. So take Dillian Whyte up on his offer. He's an easy style. Then you should have no problem. No problem. Especially, you're supposed to be in the best shape of your life now. You ready, right? Okay, let's get it. And if you're not going to fight White, but talk all this shit, call him gay, he's obsessed with you. Now, mind you, he said he could have been for them and all this and talk about how he don't want to fight, but yet he's obsessed with you. Right? When you called him gay and all that, right? You said AJ didn't want to fight. Then you said they constantly call you. Eddie Hearn keep calling. Right. It's funny how somebody don't want to fight, but they keep asking you for the fight. Yo, you want to fight or what? What's good? Come on, hey, let's negotiate. What y'all want to do, right? But yet they don't want to fight you. This dude is a walking contradiction, man. And whether people want to realize what the truth is or not, that's up to them. And I really don't care on a personal note as far as the idiots go. But like I said, I like to converse with the people that got some sense up there. You cannot sit here and tell me you hear this, everything he said. And the funny thing is, the fingers he's pointing at everybody else, he's doing those exact things that he's accusing other people of doing. And he's sitting up here lying, telling me he give all opportunities to everybody. Like, who? Who? Who in the fuck was sitting at work going, yo, I got to get out of here, man. Yo, Wilder fighting motherfucking Gerald Washington tonight, nigga. Fuck, I got to go see that shit. Yo, yeah, hell yeah. Wilder versus Arthur Spilker, bro. I got to see that shit. Who the fuck was sitting here doing that? Nobody said that shit about Ortiz. I remember when I came to work, nobody even knew about that damn fight. And the people that was like, the only people, this one, it was a little chubby lady, was mad because she like, oh, why the Ortiz can win? And I don't like Wilder, you know. And she was like on the phone talking to somebody. She on the phone. Nobody knew about that goddamn fight. But they want to try to make you think like, oh, yeah, these dudes that he fought, I told y'all, it's somewhere in the archive. You guys know you can find it, no problem. Scroll down and read. I put his whole resume up there. And this guy was WBC champion fighting guys ranked 480-something in the world. Yet you give opportunities to everyone? You reached out, but champions turned you. What champions turned you down? You're a fucking lie, because let's just be real. Before Tyson Fury had even beat Klitschko, Klitschko was the one with the belts. Where was you at? You were up and coming. Fury got the title, disappeared. 3 years. AJ, piece by piece, started picking up all the titles. So who the fuck did you reach out to fight, man? But you guys really, you heard it with your own 2 ears. For those who are too stupid to absorb the truth and want to try to twist it and make what came out of his own mouth something different, okay? That's on you. But just like I said, he says one thing and does something completely different. Says something completely different later. You guys act like what he said before didn't mean anything. Just like when I said Povetkin is not even British. What are you talking about? But then I thought about it and I'm like, nah, he might have been saying like, okay, he's trying to protect Dillon because Dillon's British. But maybe in the conversation he got caught up, or maybe I just, see, if I slip up and say something, not that I slip up, but if I when I think about it, like, wait, you know what? No, just like I did. Because he could have been talking about you trying to make excuses for Dillon White. Now that I think about it, I think that's what he was saying. But that's what a man does. That's what you do. I'm not trying to sit here and make up shit about this dude. I'm the type of person, I use what you say and do against you. Simply by quoting what you say today, just to watch you listen and change it tomorrow. And then say, this is what you said yesterday. No, I didn't. Click. Oh, shit, I did. Yeah, you did, motherfucker. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.